A cold change is on the way. Hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks for joining us. Well, the next wintry snap is almost here, and it's going to linger with us right through until the weekend, which is a little bit longer than the last one did, although it's not as aggressive as the last one. So it's kind of similar for some if you're in the south. Those in the very north of the country maybe not quite so impacted, but we are expecting snow right into the central North Island and again around the desert road, so it is going northwards. This is the current wind map, and look at this, the subtropical northerlies coming down ahead of the Southern Ocean southerlies coming up. Now this northerly wind flow, or a nor'wester in Canterbury, has really pushed the temperatures up. It was plus 15 degrees this morning. It was minus 5 the other morning at the weekend. So that's a 20-degree difference in just a few days for when you wake up. That's a sign, bit of a precursor to what is on the way. So we've got the snow maps and the temperature maps, but we'll kick off with the rain map. This is the next 24 hours, and it shows up to 150 millimeters or more through the Southern Alps. It might even get up closer to 200 millimeters. That's enough to lead to slips and flooding and maybe even some road closures, so just be aware of that on the west coast. Elsewhere, it's pretty dry on the eastern side of both islands, but we do have some wet weather moving in to Southland and Otago, and that'll be coming in the form of snow flurries and hail as well as normal rain. The other map we've got to show you is the snow map. This is for the next 48 hours, and what you're seeing here in the white shading is 0.1 to 5 centimeters. So that's either a trace that will be gone very quickly, or it's just enough to settle on the surfaces for a short time, and it might impact some roads, especially the higher up you are where it's colder. So that is quite a large area getting a risk of snow, but it's quite similar to the polar event last week. If you look at Canterbury, again, much of Canterbury looks fairly sheltered from the worst of it, although inland areas, perhaps a little bit heavier with the snowfall, up to 80 centimeters of snow right here in the peaks, but a lot of that is that heavy rain also mixing in with the colder southerly coming through, and you can also just see a little bit of snow showing here in the lower part of the North Island and also up again around Central Plateau. The next map, this is for this evening, showing the strong northerly winds. They're getting squashed together as they move northwards. Worst area is right through here, so that's coastal Taranaki and then coastal Marlborough and Wellington, and that's pretty much it. Blustery conditions also around Auckland, might just touch around gale force for a time as we go into this evening. And the final couple maps to show you before we get into the usual air pressure ones, the departure from normal temperatures. This is overnight tonight, showing much warmer than average in a large part of New Zealand. Look at this, several degrees warmer than average around sort of Greymouth to Hokitika area, but the colder change starting to move in. Fast forward to tomorrow night, and as you can see, most of New Zealand's colder than average, although you might be surprised to see it's a little bit milder down here. That won't be the wind chill. The wind chill is going to be below zero, but the air temperature a little bit higher than the frosty weather you've been getting. So it's kind of strange, but because it's windy and cloudy, your overnight lows in Southland, not quite as bad, but that wind chill is still very, very cold. Dunedin is likely to have wind chill below zero, starting overnight tonight and potentially not ending until the weekend. That's what current data is suggesting. It might hover around freezing in the wind, but it's going to be very cold around the eastern side and right up towards Marlborough, where it'll be several degrees colder as that southerly flow comes on through. So let's get into the forecast. This is how it looks at lunchtime Wednesday. So there's the main cold front clearing the North Island, so that moves through overnight tonight and Wednesday morning. Then the pulse of cold air comes in behind it, and this is the area here with some snowy weather coming through, rain showers and some sleet as well as it moves into Canterbury. By Thursday, it is very similar, but fairly dry around much of the South Island. So even though it's cold, as I say, the snow accumulation is quite low for most places. But the wind chill is going to be with us, and it'll be wintry, especially around Southland and Otago on Thursday, although that colder air goes northwards. Snow showers also, remember, around the desert road and those southern ranges. On Friday, very similar again. Here's the big high pressure system, here's the low. I always say a high shape north to south near Tasmania and a low southeast of New Zealand. Put those two together, you get a southerly blast, and that's what we've still got here on Friday. The high gets closer, the colder air goes further north. It gets up to Auckland now. So everybody feels this wintry change by the end of the week. It's slower moving than the one last week. And then we get into the weekend, And things do finally show some signs of easing. High pressure out here is getting closer to New Zealand. And look at this low out to the southeast. Pretty deep stuff, 960. But as we go to Sunday, it drops down to 944. So it is very similar to the polar blast last week, but it's then moving away from us. That's the positive news. And behind it, we've actually got a almost subtropical low coming back in for northern areas and flatter air pressure. The blue line showing Sunday is still cold, but Sunday may be the first day that Dunedin starts to feel warmer after a number of cold days coming up. And by the way, early lambing is already underway in the South Island in some places. So for newborn lambs, just be aware that the wind chill could be below zero for more than 4 days in a row. So that's quite significant, so just be aware of that. Put them in the sheltered areas. That is all from me. We've got more details and these maps on our website, so please do take a look. And of course, that wind chill calculator, you can find that at ruralweather.co.nz hourly for every single part of New Zealand. That's all from me. We'll see you tomorrow.